Hello everyone, my name is Corazar, and welcome back to the Vintage Story Guide. We are back in the world, hot on the heels after our last episode, where we went through the translocator right down here, and we went far to the southeast where we made a lot of really amazing discoveries. This episode, we are going to head through the translocator that is down here, and we're going to go due south, and we're going to kind of continue our journey in the same format as before. And I wanted to bring it back here tonight because I had realized that after our episode where we put this facade together, we didn't really get a chance to sort of take a slow look at it. So I kind of want to just admire it in the darkness and also note how the grass on our roof, in addition to the grass around us, is starting to turn yellow. So this roof will actually change colors with the seasons and will look like the grass growing out of all the grass blocks here. But yes, I think one of the things I forgot to show you was that we do indeed have a round interior portal here, and I even put a frame inside here for the doors to rest against and just have a nice sort of consistent look here. Anyway, I'm going to run back to the, lightning, the old house, and we are going to make it morning, and then we're going to set off on our bit of a journey. So I'll see all of you in a few minutes. Tree right to the face. Wonderful. I missed the house. Whoops. Alright everyone, with that ominous crash, we are back. Let's be off. I do need a new axe. There we go. I think we have, yep, fresh knife and fresh everything else. So I think we can head out. We're going to go through our other translocator down here this time, where we will go to the south in this claystone area. I don't know if we have... we have, okay. Prospected. Magnetite, coal, lignite. Okay. And yeah, we'll go in a big circle here. I think unless we find anything particularly interesting, I'm not going to really stop and talk about it. We will just sort of go through it, and I will keep answering your questions. And then, once everything is all said and done, we'll bring it back and talk about what we found. And again, I will stop if we find, say, a Luxuries goods trader, or anything else of great importance. But until we do, I hope you enjoy my answers to your questions. Alright everyone, as I mentioned last episode, you guys had a million thoughtful questions. And today, we're going to get through the rest of them. If you missed the last episode, you may want to go back and watch that one before this one, since the first half of our exploration and my answers to your questions happened there. Let's jump right back into them. Azariel Kai asks, do you think you'll play other games, whether popular or not? Well, if history is any indicator, I'm pretty great at playing other games that aren't popular. I have kind of accidentally cemented myself as a vintage story YouTuber, but I'd be happy to expand into other games and genres. While I've generally shied away from more well-known games, it's less of a drive to avoid popular games and more because I've been enjoying indie games by smaller developers recently. AAA titles haven't been as attractive to me lately because so many of them are designed to be addicting rather than fun. And any game that hides tiny amounts of content behind costly DLCs is one that I won't touch with a 10-foot pole. That being said, there are some more well-known games that I'd be open to playing. Including them in my content is more about figuring out how to fit them into my schedule than anything else. Wired Man has two questions, and they ask, which age is more comfy, iron or steel? Good question. I'm going to go with iron, but I like both equally well for different reasons. Iron's comfier because you have access to tools, weapons, and armor that can carry you through the current endgame. You don't really need steel. In fact, if you turn the class-based recipes off, you can have access to a gear that's just about as good as steel in some cases, like the Blackguard Short Sword and the Blackguard Square Shield. And iron's comfier because you don't have to spend your life building cementation furnaces and digging up an entire geological time period's worth of coal to keep it firing. Steel is better, but not comfier because of the whole steelmaking time sink. But your tools do last a lot longer, even compared to iron and meteoric iron. You have access to every conceivable resource in the game, and with steel plate armor, you can wander the depths to your heart's content, secure in the comfort of your fairest bubble. Their second question is, Aside from the tailored gambeson, what other recipes are exclusive to the tailor class? Will you cover these recipes in this season? The tailor has access to a few extra pieces of clothing than the other classes. I put the total number of recipes unique to the tailor at about 15% of all craftable clothing. However, a little less than half of all clothing in the game is craftable at all. In general, the easy way to tell which recipes are exclusive to the tailor is that if they include a sewing kit, they're tailor only. I will probably be covering some of the craftable clothing. Will we cover all craftable clothing? Possibly, but at the moment it isn't a priority. BoogieBot asks, are you going to do the Resonance Archives quest in this season of the Vintage Story Guide? I generally try to avoid spoilers about upcoming content, but in this case, yes. Especially because it is one of the big features of 1.18, it's really important that we cover it. When that time comes, if anyone wants to avoid spoilers, the video title will clearly indicate that we're exploring the new story content, so you can skip the video or watch it after you've been there yourself. Lovey Beast asks, how much delay is there for you between recording an episode and uploading it? Usually, I try to keep about 4 episodes ahead, so 2 weeks. But sometimes if I'm doing longer episodes or just don't have time for recording and editing in a given week, I will occasionally end up releasing them just in time. In general though, at a minimum, the episodes are about 3 or 4 days old. Patrons get to watch them first, so I have to give them a head start. The Midnight Rust asks, where would you rank translocators on the transportation to murder scale for teleportation technology, and why? On a scale where 1 is transportation and 10 is murder, I rate these about a 3. This is because finding them can be pretty dangerous, but not always. There's also a very rare bug where sometimes a translocator dumps you out somewhere without a return translocator. But it is a big step up from how it works in Dungeons & Dragons though, because there, sometimes you teleport your body in one direction and your intestines in the opposite direction. Giggling Sociopath, who apparently has escaped comment jail, asks, once again, would you ever play Vintage Story in virtual reality if that became a thing? What about other older games? I am honestly not that crazy about the current capabilities of virtual reality and the hardware, and that hardware's costs. While all of my gaming computers since about 2016 have been able to handle VR, the exorbitant cost and bulky hardware are big turnoffs for me. Maybe when we figure out how to make them almost as light as reading glasses and for maybe $100 for a quality experience, then I'd be interested. Also, I often refer to handwritten notes or designs, so VR would get in the way of that. Retro Gamer asks, have you considered doing a Project Zomboid guide series? Maybe also with multiplayer? I've never played Project Zomboid, so I think a guide series would be difficult to do. I would need to have enough experience to be able to speak with at least some authority on the topic. Multiplayer in general is not, in my experience, well suited to YouTube content, except as raw Let's Play videos. For every additional person you add to a project, the amount of administration and coordination gets multiplied. Even with my previous involvement on the Rusty Gears server, most of the time I was basically playing by myself just due to differing schedules. Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, this is unfortunate, but there is no trader in this cart. That can actually happen sometimes. It is, as I understand, a bug. It isn't supposed to happen, but you can occasionally come across carts that have no trader. Now, like what just happened, sometimes they do pop back in, but I have had a few times where they did not. But yes, Miguel just, I guess you arrived here the same way I did, Miguel. I just kind of appeared here one day, and yeah, oh my, you've clearly seen better days. Or you haven't. But you are a building materials trader. Okay, we know what you are, we know what you sell. We do have some more red shingles. I wouldn't mind some of those, but not today. Alright. Well, so much for the sudden scare there about finding nothing here, but it does happen sometimes. And look at that rock strata just kind of going right through there. That is really nice. Okay. Well, I'm going to set a waypoint down about here. Once again. And we are going to be off. It's probably a little farther, but that's okay. Aiden Roth asks, I want to start playing Vintage Story, but I'm concerned that I might have to make a new world in the next version. When can we expect 1.19 to come out? I can't give you any guarantees because I'm not Tyron, but Vintage Story tends to update about every 6 months, give or take a month or two. Given that 1.18 came out in April, we might be looking at a 1.19 release toward the end of 2023. In general, though, I recommend you take the plunge anyway. The chances of you being required to start a new world are extremely slim. Even worlds from before 1.18 could be used in 1.18, and Tyron even added a command to help players generate new storyline content in 1.18 within their older worlds. Pedro Iorio asks, who do you think will win? The indomitable human spirit or the indifferent cruelty of the universe? I think that, unless the indomitable human spirit enables us to eventually escape this universe, that universe will eventually win. Either we all get minified back into a singularity in the Big Crunch, or the universe's accelerating expansion eventually pulls apart the very molecules and atoms that hold everything together. Not really the universe's fault, but unless we can escape that, the universe will win in something like 100 quadrillion years, if you can call that winning. Wizard asks, if lupins didn't exist in Vintage Story, what would your new favorite flower be? I would say either the blue cornflowers or the white daisies. They have such bright colors, and I tend to use them a lot anyway. That being said, the game could really use another red flower. The only one in the game right now is the red lupin, which is a rare find in patches of blue or purple lupins. Old Wolf asks, have you considered doing live streams? I'm going to answer this because it's been a while since it was last asked. I think live streams would be fun, but unfortunately I just don't have the time. I have time to either live stream or make the guide series, not both. There might come a time when my toddler and chore field schedule opens up a little bit, and then I might consider doing the occasional live stream, possibly for special events or moments or celebrations. I think that's down the road a ways though. King asks, do you plan to ever play the other block game on your channel? Are you trying to tell me there are block games other than Vintage Story? Heresy! No, but seriously, it's kind of unlikely except as an occasional special thing. Check out the April Fool's episode of the first Vintage Story Guide series if you're looking for a taste of what happens when you cross dimensions by accident a little too hard and end up in the wrong block game. It's Leg Day asks, have you heard of or played the game Sailwind? I have actually heard of it, though I haven't played it. I watched Splattercat do an inaugural here's what this game is video a while back, and it looks interesting, but I think I want to see it develop a bit more before I make any kind of commitment or dive into it. Alright folks, we haven't come across our trader yet. We did spot him on the map over this way. We'll go visit him in a bit. But we did come across what appears to be a little ruined village. Oh, that's not a village. Now I know why it's ruined. But it's only 2 structures, but this one I don't believe is one you'll find as a single structure, which means I'm pretty sure these are a village. So they might have some pretty good stuff. I'm going to build a little shelter here just to get out of the rain, have a bit of a sleep. You might notice that I kind of forgot the soup, or the porridge that I had put on right before we left. That is still sitting on the stove at home. But luckily that apple tree was there to give us the nourishment that we need. But I'm going to... ooh, yes. Oh yes. Peridotite cobble skull. You don't look like peridotite. You look like skull. And we got a shovel. Ooh, and a copper pickaxe. Nothing like too great, but nothing to sneeze at on that one. The shovel, of course. That's the one I want to keep. Anyway, I will see all of you in the morning when we go to investigate and see what, if anything, lies beneath these ruins. Alright, good rainy morning, everyone. It's not terribly light out yet, but I wanted to get a head start on the day. So here we are cleaning up our little nighttime hovel. Now, I have not actually seen this ruin before. I'm intrigued. I do like the cobble skull. I might leave that. We have enough, and unless there's like a bunch more here, I'm not going to really go after it too hard, I don't think. Let's dig down here. This goes pretty deep, doesn't it? Ah, here we go. Here's something. What are you? Anything in particular? Oh, we have some bony soil. A little bit, at least. Are you a basement for us, perhaps? Not really. It is entirely possible. These have no basements, which would be a shame. We've already dug out kind of under you. I do declare that this probably has no basement. That's unfortunate. Unless there's one like right here. This could be something. There are a few that have like sort of little external basement-y things. But no. Oh wait, you know, we haven't gone under here yet. Nope. Okay. Well, that's sad, but it happens. Not every structure in a village has a basement. And this, again, may not really be a village anyway, because we only have the 2 here. Maybe I was fooled. Let's go ahead and we will dig out this one too. See what lies beneath the center here. Do have the bony soil. But again, I'm not seeing any basements. Okay. Oh, here's our vessel though. Hey, food. Just what I need, honestly. Whoops, that's on me though. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. I was hoping for something fun beneath the surface, but that's fine. Well, let's continue our trek. We're gonna... Ooh. I hear you. I hear you, my friend, and to you I say... Good day. Yes, we're going to go over to our trader over here, and we'll swing back through here, hopefully avoiding that bear, and we'll swim across here. I did spend the evening looking for a trader down in these woods here. I didn't see one, and I don't know we could survive the trip anyway. So I think we will kind of try to avoid them, and then see where it goes. Well, hopefully there's one over here. I did notice that there's a big cave here that goes down pretty far, pretty hardcore. So we may as well check it out a bit. It is high rift activity though, so I'm not going to go in. Yeah. But I did, while I was getting ready for the evening, I did run over and take a tippy tap nearby. In here, check it out. We have ultra high hematite at 7.6 per meal. I have never seen it that high. I've never seen iron that high at all. So I think when it comes time for us to enter the Iron Age, this might be our spot. And it's not too far from our translocator either. It's a bit of a hike, but we can come kind of, you know, we cut through the mountain here, and it's mostly a straight shot. So yeah, that's a pretty good find. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to the questions, and I will see you all on the other side. Baphomet asks, how come you almost never use the third-person mode in Vintage Story while exploring? The short and sweet answer is, it's clunky and I don't like it. You can't see the block you're looking at, and it's difficult to target because of that. And if you use the free camera mode, your character has to actually be looking at whatever block you want to interact with. It's just hard to use. What is this? We have another of these ruins. Well, well, well. Deep in Baratory, too. But you know what? I think we gotta get it. We may not get another chance, at least not for a while. William King has 2 questions, and they ask, if you could add a Rust World monster or a hostile natural animal, or both, what would it be? I definitely wouldn't add another hostile animal. We already have too many bears and wolves knocking on our door as it is. But I do think it would be neat to see some of the golems that are referenced in some of the lore books. The ones that are described as having totally accidentally crushed people to death with their bare metal hands. Their second question is, would you consider doing a Let's Play or guide series for a game called Towers of Agaspa? I had never heard of that game before now. It looks amazing, though it hasn't been released yet. It does look right up my alley though, so after it releases, I'll keep an eye on it. Get a gauge on how well it's reviewed, and I might add it to the roster, or at least put it up for a vote. Some Stranger asks, what is your favorite artistic medium? I have two. My main favorite is definitely digital art. Infinitely editable, undoable, flexible, easy to transport and share, no chemicals or cleanup. Yes, this is the way. I've got a couple tablets, though I haven't had much time in the past couple years to really do much artwork. However, I also enjoy more physical media, and of those, I'm going to say oil paint is probably my favorite, even though I've only got to dabble in it on a couple occasions. There's something intuitive about mixing oil paints and putting them on canvas that just doesn't work as well with acrylic or watercolor or other paints. Well everyone, that concludes our big omnibus edition of 20 questions. This is actually one collection of questions split over 2 episodes, and I hope you enjoyed my answers to your questions. As usual, if you do have any more questions you want me to answer in a video like this one, drop them in a comment with the hashtag 20questions. Well, well, well. A red-roofed trader outside a ruin. I am hopeful, but I'm not going to say anything to jinx it. We have it. We have a Luxuries Trader. Hey, wrote, you are my new best friend. Oh, you even have them at the worst price possible. Well, we might just not buy those today. That's a terrible price. And you'll buy an aged lore book. Interesting. And paintings. Nothing that I have to sell you today. Well, this is what I was looking for. A Luxuries Trader. Yes. So, I do want to talk a little bit about why I was looking for one so ardently. Is that when we go to the Resonance archive up here, which actually is not far from this trader. Wow, we got pretty darn close. Look at that. But yes, once we go there, since we're a halfling, and we're kind of newcomers in this world, I think maybe it could be fun to do a little bit of roleplay where we're kind of like cosplaying, like we're excited to go on a big adventure, so we need to gear up just like the heroes of old so we can feel like one of them. And I thought it would be fun to buy the Forlorn Hope set of armor from a Luxuries merchant and fix them up and then take them with us and wear them as our armor when we go spelunking in yon Resonance archive, which I assume isn't a big underground thing, or something. It's probably underground. Either way, we need armor. Now, this armor is, as you can see, broken, but if we go to the handbook, you can see it's an ingredient for damage. They go from broken to damaged, where when they're broken, they have a flat damage reduction of 0.25 and percent protection of 40 and a protection tier of 1. But you can make them into the damaged by replacing some of their missing iron chains, and you can get the damaged Forlorn Hope Greaves, and of course chest plate and helmet. And here, their flat damage protection goes up by, well, it goes up by a factor of 6 from 0.25 to 1.5, and a percent protection of 90. But that's not all. If we go ahead and then want to restore them completely with some plates, including a gold plate, we can make the Forlorn Hope Greaves neither damaged nor broken, and they have a flat damage reduction of 1.7, a percent protection of 96%, a protection tier of 3, and they are high damage tier resistant. And this is kind of what we really want them for, is that when you have armor of a lower tier being damaged by a higher tier attack, for instance when you are wearing, say, I don't know, purple gambeson, and a Nightmare Drifter hits you, your gambeson actually takes a big penalty on how much protection it provides because of the difference in your protection value your protection tier versus the attack tier that's striking you. And it also damages the armor a whole lot. Well, what this armor does, once you fix it up... Interesting, even the damaged version has that. I didn't realize that. But the damaged version isn't as good by a long shot. So I would definitely want to fix them up the whole way. But what this does is the loss of protection that you get from that difference in damage tier versus your attack tier, or the enemy's attack tier, is only half as much as normal. So that means that we could take this, protection tier 3, and go up against Nightmare Drifters, which are attack tier 4, and have a reasonably high expectation of surviving the encounter as long as we are also dealing damage to them in the meantime, and have a decent shield that's not this shield. So that's why I am so adamant about finding a Luxuries Trader, and we finally have it. So let's see, Luxuries Trader, what color should you be? I don't even know. Not purple. Let's do pink. And we won't pin you, that's fine. So we finally have our Luxuries Trader. That was quite a trek to find it. And I think it's going to be a bit of a trek to get here and back regularly, because we're going to want to check back in a few days. Yes, what do you have, Rote? So in 6 days, Rote will have some new goods, and we can see what they have, and maybe they'll have some of this set at a better price. You can find these for anywhere from about, I think it's about 24 gears up to 36 or so. Might even be a little less than that, maybe like 22 to 36. So 35 is a bit pricey. I want to see if we can save a few bucks on this, because we're kind of hurting for money at the moment. And inventory space, apparently. But yes, we will need to keep trading with our other traders, and then we will eventually get enough money to buy this armor. Anyway, everyone, I'm going to pack things up here, and I might stay the night. Nah, I'll run home. I'll run home, and I'll meet all of you there, and I'm going to unpack everything that I have into a trunk, and we'll go over what we got. So, I'll see all of you there. Alright, everyone, we have made it home, safe and sound, and look! Someone made me a bowl of porridge. How nice. In this chest here, in this trunk here, we have all the things that we found today. That doesn't include the knowledge, because we did learn a lot today. Let's see what we got. So, we got some pretty cool stuff here. We got half a stack of ancient pillars and ancient stairs, and about a quarter or a third of a stack of ancient slabs. A smattering of bismuthinite, some black coal and brown coal. We found almost another full stack of terra preta, which is perfect, because we do need to expand our forever farms, and this will help us get there. We found about a half a stack of bony soil, which I'll pan at some point later. 2 more copper pickaxes. These aren't anything special, they're just kind of nice to have. I'll use them up sort of as I get a chance to. And then we found a smattering of other natural things. We got some rice grain, we got some cattails, some feathers, flax twine, bit of resin, fat, huge raw hides, and 2 purple seashells. In addition, we learned a lot. One, we uncovered a lot of the map to the south, down here, and even more to the southeast. Well, we almost met up practically. Look at that. My goodness. We met a lot of traders, not all of whom are particularly accessible, but we know where they are. We did some prospecting along the way, and so we have a better idea of some of the things we can find, or expect to find, on the map here. If I can, there we go. So we have some new readings here of materials that we may not have had access to before. And importantly, we found iron right over here, and a lot of it. Boy, howdy, we are going to be rolling in hematite here soon. And we, of course, found our Luxuries Trader. But the real treasure, of course, are the friends we made along the way. Anyway, everyone, that's going to about do it for this episode of the Vintage Story Guide. I hope you enjoyed our romp through the countryside and all the discoveries we made along the way. And all the drifters growling outside right now. Hope you really, really love them, just like I do. I think it'll be soon time for us to get into the Iron Age. I haven't quite decided what we'll do next episode yet, but I'm sure I'll think of something soon. But we may start working toward the Iron Age, like I said, so that could be something we start next episode. I'm not sure yet. As always, my name has been Corazar. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.